everyone, welcome to the show. What do you say we get started? Wish I had a little backbeat to get this show started right. Hey Charlie, you got anything? Awesome. Thanks, man. Now I need some words. I guess we're walking. Yeah. Yeah, we're walking. That's right, we're walking in the halls. Walking in the halls. Gonna find out about someone new today. Finding out something about that friend. Gonna learn something new today. Here at Weston Elementary. Gonna find out about someone new. Each and every episode. All right, Charlie, that was pretty good. Let's get the show started. All right.
Hello, Eagle Nation. It's your elementary principal, Mr. Meyer, back with another edition of Walking the Halls with the Principal. This episode was taped before the holiday break, so just keep that in mind. I believe it'll be coming out just after the holiday break. So just to give you some context, I'm very excited about our special guest, Miss Val Thompson. Please enjoy the show. Well, hello, Mrs. Thompson.
Good morning, Mr. Meyer.
Thank you so much for agreeing to walk the halls with the principal today.
You're welcome.
So excited. You are probably one of the most mentioned people so far in all of my episodes as to like that when we play three things,
right?
And they mentioned the person. I think you got to be at least 3 or 4 people have said Mrs. Thompson, so we have to interview Mrs. Thompson. So welcome.
Thank you.
Could you tell the folks who out in Eagle Nation a little bit about yourself, maybe about your path, how you came to Weston, how long you've been here, and all of that?
I will do that. Well, I graduated from Richmond Center in 1979, and I went to UW Platteville. And then after Platteville, I subbed for 1 year in the area. And then in 1984, I started here at Weston. So this will be my 37th year at Weston, all at Weston. I have taught grades 3, 2, 1, K, and pre-K. And if I was supposed to pick my favorite, I would have to say pre-K. They're loving, gullible, so full of little knowledge that they don't know that they have. And they're just little sponges. I just love teaching them new things and watching the expressions on their face when they talk and learn new things. It's awful exciting.
How long have you been in pre-K then? You mentioned
pre-K, I think this is year 7, I believe.
Yes.
And then I hop room to room too,
yes.
So.
And you want to tell the folks how many students you have this year in your pre-K?
This year I have 17 in person and I have 4 virtual this year. So It's a busy room, if you can imagine, 4 and 5-year-olds.
Can you believe it, folks? I mean, 17 4-year-olds, and she's a miracle worker. She is. I was impressed when I got a chance to come in and see you teach in person and on a daily basis, just the things that you do with the kids. It's amazing how active and engaged they are. And if you can just see, folks, the amazing environment back here. This is what the kids in 4K get to do and be a part of every single day. And you want to tell us about the board behind you? What's that? Ho, ho, ho.
Well, ho, ho, ho is counting down the days to Christmas. And of course, we can't get too excited about Christmas yet because then it's always, is it tomorrow? Is it tomorrow? Is it today? So that kind of goes with our calendar, that we do a calendar every day with counting and days of the week and the weather. So we do a little Christmas countdown. So maybe, 2 more days in class, person to person, 2 virtual, as Christmas get a little bit closer, then it might seem a little more real for them and help them understand that.
So everything is integrated, even though they may not know it. You're teaching academics through
absolutely
through play.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, would you like to go walking in the halls with me?
Let's go walk.
All right, let's do it. All right. So would you like to play a game that is very well known here? I think one of your students did a nice job. A little shout out to Gary.
Yes, he did.
We're going to play 3 things.
All right, I'd love to do that.
All right, would you tell us first one person that, or a person or two who have had an impact on you, or that when you think of Weston, these are the folks?
Well, I actually have to pick two. When I first started teaching, Barb Borton, who was a kindergarten teacher, her whole teaching career here at Weston was a very big influence on me when I came to Weston, so I have to say her. And then Margie Brown, who had passed away a couple years ago, she was another one. So both of them were kind of my mentors as I was getting into teaching, being so young. They put me into a 1-2 split the first year, and that was exciting, fun, and challenging, but boy, they helped me through it. So I really have to praise those two ladies for helping me through my teaching career and believing in me and that I can do it, and I'm still here.
Oh, that's great. Mentors are very important, aren't they?
They are very
Yeah,
important.
absolutely. Well, thank you. That's wonderful. So that's the person or the people. How about a place?
The place, I'd have to say my classroom. My classroom is so vivid, wild. The kids are awesome, watching them learn new things, seeing them just playing with each other, socializing, the visiting, the talk that they want to do with Miss Ellie, who's my para this year, is awesome. And they just have the love for learning. And so that classroom environment, I try to make it special for them. And when they come in the room, at first, if we change the environment, it's like, wow, it's awe, and then it's part of their surrounding for the whole day. So that definitely has to be my classroom.
All right, and a thing.
A thing has to be the community. I've been in Weston for 37 years. The community, the people in it. I have parents that come back that I haven't had for years, and just to see them and talk to them again. Of course, I'm now having their children.
I was going to ask you about
Yes.
that. Now, if you don't mind, how many generations of kiddos and families have you seen
Well, I've
so
had
far?
parents and then their children, so I
Yeah.
haven't had
Oh,
the
okay.
grandchildren
Haven't-
yet. No grandchildren. I was just thinking about that last night.
Yes.
And my first one I had, I think, well, it's been years ago, so I'm not even going to say the year. But one year I've had every child in my room, I either had their father, their mother, siblings, or a cousin.
Oh my
This
goodness.
year I counted, I have about 10 of my parents,
Yes.
my students' parents that I've had
Oh.
as students. So that's kind of special too, and I get that their children, and then they kind of see that I had them, their parents. So it's neat to see that experience too.
All right. So if you've had Mrs. Thompson and you're on Facebook, I want you to share this with as many people who also had Mrs. Thompson. Let's make this thing go viral, people.
Yeah, remember 37 years.
That's pretty
guys.
amazing. Oh, thank you. Well, that was 3 things. That
All
was
right.
pretty good.
That
Thank
was
you.
fast.
All right. You know, growing up, Mrs. Thompson, I watched the show, and you might know the show. It's called Kids Say the Darndest Things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think Art Linkletter was the original host of that.
Okay.
But anyway, I'm sure that you've heard some things over the years.
Oh, I have,
Any
yeah.
any funny things that are appropriate for walking the halls that you might want to share?
Well, I think one thing in particular, when I was married, of course, I had a maiden name, so I was trying to teach the children that my maiden name was Allball, which is actually a hard name to say anyhow. So we practiced it, and then a group that had been out of the room came back in, and I said, well, guys, what were we just talking about? And they'd say, well, what your name was, and I said, well, can you tell them what Mrs. Thompson then, what her maiden name was? And they said Mrs. Fuzzball. And oh my gosh, of course they thought that was the funniest thing.
Uh-oh.
So just the little things, and that's what I love about pre-K too. Sometimes the little things in the lives are the funniest, bring smiles to people's faces, and I love that too.
That's
So
funny.
that's one of them.
Mrs. Fuzzball.
Mrs. Fuzzball.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. I'm sure there's probably many, many more, and that'll probably have to go in a book someday,
It
right?
should, yes.
Yeah, a chapter called Kids Say the Darndest Things.
That's right.
Want to tell us a little bit about your family?
Sure. So I have 2 grown children, a daughter, Brittany, that runs a small daycare out of our house, and I have a son, Trevor, who is an auto mechanic
Okay.
in Lancaster. And then, of course, I live with my husband. Can't forget the 2 cats, Butterfinger and Pepsi.
Ooh.
Live with us, too.
2 of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Butterfinger and Pepsi. I like that. Those are great names. And you know, as a pre-K teacher, I'm sure you see a lot of things. You know, a lot of kids that come to you with really high ability, and then you have kids that come maybe not quite as prepared as we would like a student to come.
Yes.
And so, you know, as a new parent, sometimes we don't know what we don't know. And so, do you have any advice that you could give to a new parent or a parent of a young child before they're school aged
Sure.
to prepare them?
I think one of the most important things is reading to your child, even when they're in the womb. Read. Read a variety of books to them. Nursery rhymes, I think, has been kind of it hasn't been as popular as it has in the past, but I think that's coming back. So any of those nursery rhymes that you could recite to your children, playing with them, just letting them play, and you engage playing with them. Get that vocabulary going, get that language going with them. Those would be some great things that I would suggest for our new parents coming in. Or even if somebody that wants to come into Weston and they're not quite sure, is Weston the right place for me?
Yeah. We'd be happy to give them a tour of the place, wouldn't we?
We would love to give you a tour, so come on
Absolutely.
in. Because pre-K is where it all starts.
That's right.
In our room, and we're welcome. I would love to welcome you here.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate you joining me on this episode. Again, if you have had Mrs. Thompson, or if you haven't, please share this episode with your friends, and let's make this thing go viral. All right, I like to end every episode with our catchphrase, Mrs. Thompson.
All right.
You know what it is?
I do.
All right. Soar, Eagle, soar.
Eagle Pride. Bye.
Find out about someone new today. Finding out something about that friend. Gonna learn something new today. Here at Weston Elementary. Gonna find out about someone new. Each and every episode.